Okay, folks, Kenny Jameson here. December 14th, 2019. Been watching the hearings. This is a political video. If you don't care about politics in the United States, go watch a baseball game or football game or something, or I don't know, have a beer, do something, enjoy life. You know, that's what it's all about. Is if this is interfering with your enjoyment of the pursuit of happiness, then you should be a little bit perturbed on what's going on in our federal government, which is directly going to relate to you in time. It's the old stitch in time saves nine adage here. My concern is McCarthyism from the 1950s. Oh, everybody hates McCarthyism. The people that they brought up on charges of being communists didn't get a fair shake. And they used intimidating tactics. And everybody booed McCarthyism. It was like, let's never do that again, where we drag people in on suspicion. They haven't really done anything wrong, per se, other than having an open mind and freedom of speech in America, except for you can't yell fire in a theater. That's where freedom of speech stops. You cannot slander somebody or make up stuff, especially if you're a congressman in the United States. You can't do a James Cagney routine. Yeah, that's the ticket. That's what he meant. Yeah, I give 7 times to do this. That guy there needs to be taken down. See, the reverse effects of McCarthyism, everybody booed it. We all realized in time later that it wasn't the right way to go. So we put up protectionism. I'll get that word out. Now we've came full circle with the Patriot Act, where they're allowed to spy on everybody. The guys then saw it, that we knew we had a problem, that we've been infiltrated by a bunch of socialists. Not capitalism, socialism. That's what Russia is socialism. There's a good video here on YouTube about what is communism. There's no communist country in the world. China's not communist. It's socialist. A little bit of that for Social Security for our old people, we adopted that. So that's not a bad idea to force people into paying into retirement throughout their working career. Take it right out of their paycheck, and then we could feed the old. We all went with that. And slowly but surely, we've drifted towards it, and they get right on stage. The Democrats, during their debates here a couple weeks ago, got right on stage and all want to make the United States completely socialist. People applauded them. Completely socialist. Every aspect of business, completely tight regulations, to the point where if you do own any type of company, you're taxed at a 35% rate off your profits. If you can even profit money. After you have to charge 7 or 8% sales tax, you have to buy workers' comp on all your employees, unemployment insurance. You have to buy all kinds of other liability insurances to run a business. You got to get licensures and permits. Is the government completely control business now? Go into business, you'll find out. At the end of your expenses, running a restaurant, all your expenses, who's profiting more money? If you do profit money, you can deduct it, this big long bureaucracy, and then you get contested. And, was that a product for your business or is that for private? Did you eat any of the food at your restaurant? Then you can't deduct that loss. I mean, it gets that picky when they want to shut you down because you're a free thinker and you want to run a business and you're not connected. If you're connected and you're counting, it froze. More power to you if you're allowed to run a business. I've said it in many of my videos. Does free enterprise still exist, or are we so close to complete socialism? And our President Donald Trump knew that. That's why he wanted to take off. I'm freezing. There, I locked up. I don't know. Maybe just my clock is stopping here on here. That's why he wanted to lessen regulations on businesses. Get the EPA to back off a little bit. Of course we want clean air and water. If there's technology to scrub the air or purify the water before it comes out of your factory, that is the right way to go. Oil drilling, well, there's a lot of pollutants there, but we all like gasoline. That's a byproduct, and that's just, what are we going to do, have electric? Wow, how are you going to generate the electric? Nuclear? You're going to burn coal? Are you winning? So you can drive 100 miles. They like that. You're limited to going within 50 miles of your house. You have to turn around and come back, or you're going to have to spend time wherever you're at to get a charge to come back. Could you imagine driving across the United States and stopping every 2 or 3 hours and charging for 2 or 3 hours? Whew. There ain't no more 10-hour riding. No, stop and charge. Stop and charge. Kenny Jameson here on McCarthyism. It might be time to bring part of that back and put our Senate on trial, or our Congress on trial, or any of the infiltrators into our federal government that seem to have the biggest mouths. That's right. From a bartender to a millionaire in 1 year. Whew. Wow. They sure have collected in the money. Man, Nancy Pelosi, they're rating her at $800 million now. Her husband does stock trades on the side. Her kids are all involved. All the politicians' kids are raking in millions of dollars because they get insider trading tips. Not against the law in the Congress. In the Senate, it's against the law. They tried to pass the stock bill in the Congress. It didn't go through because half of them there would have been convicted on insider trading. Very easy to get it. I mean, geez, you can see the legislation they're passing in the afternoon. It all gets down to the shadow government, the secret government, the CFR. You probably know what that is, right? If you don't, stop watching. The Council on Foreign Relations, that's not a government entity. That's part of the shadow government. Good videos on Hillary talking in front of them and other politicians talking to the board of directors at the CFR. Wow. They're part of the Grove. Do you know what the Grove is? You can't say these things on here. You'll get gang stalked. You'll get microwaved. You'll get something because they'll find a problem with you and repress you off to the sidelines. They'll tie you up in court. Somehow or another. It's inevitable. Meantime, I've been influenced in my thought process by Alex Jones. Years ago, back to Waco, Texas. That's when I started watching him. Couldn't believe that happened in the United States and nobody, and it was all okay. And then we went on and on from there of the infiltration into, I watched Dabu 777. He puts out some good world news. He gets it off the Science Channel a lot of times. The retired Marine, I just started watching him. He kind of knows what the United States was supposed to have stood for. And I've got a few other YouTubers there that I watch that are open-minded and haven't been repressed. A lot of them, Richie from Boston, he's been demonetized because he's been talking about the aerosol spraying of us for 10 years. There's people don't even believe that. If you look it up, Congress appropriated money for that. Yeah, you're too busy to catch that, but that's okay. That happens. That's a fact that they're aerosoling us for multiple reasons to keep the radiation from the sun because of the hole in the ozone layer. We outlawed air conditioning in cars, that one product, because it was floating up. It was lighter than air and it was eating the ozone layer. So now we've got a protective shield around us. And to get it to spread out, they electrify it with the HARP system. Put 1 billion watts of electricity and bounce it off the ionosphere, and it spreads it out. Oh my God, is this where we live these days? I got to catch up. This is 2019, and I can't believe some of the technology that's taking place here. It's almost 10 minutes. That's enough for any one of these videos. McCarthyism. Oh, we've been infiltrated.